Welcome back to WarTV Behind the Static, other known as BTS. If you're new to the series, here we go over the vlogs that I recorded while shooting the figures and the videos from start to finish. And we talk about the process of what it takes to bring one of my videos to life from beginning to end. We pull lessons and methods from these experiences to help us go further in the long run. Because we don't lose, we learn. Warren Sr. If this is something you would like to see more of, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and being able to see videos like these more. With all that out of the way, let's jump right back into the video. Alright, so the last episode we talked about preparing for your video. We came up with the idea that we needed to get the wheels turning, and we came up with the outline of the script. We found out voice actors, we purchased the figures, and even built the sets for the video as well. But we ran into a few problems along the way. There was way too much to shoot and not enough time. We had a short window to upload the video. My goal was to get the video done as soon as possible to the window of the movie being released. So a few story concessions were made to be able to align the release of the stop motion along the side of the film. We focused all of our attentions on the final battle. So with the script done, the figures in hand, the sets built, we were finally ready to shoot. And this is how it went. Alright, so I just finished, I'm in the process of finishing Namor darting off, speed blitzing Shuri. But the problem is, I wanted to use the plastic sheathing that's still on the glass to be able to protect it from hitting any dings or nicks or anything like that. Because I already dropped a heavy metal weight onto the glass and the plastic protected it. So now I have to do the dangerous task of unwrapping it and then finally using the sticky tack. Because see here, this is just where Namor was standing. You see how it's already warped the plastic? After the fighting and all that, that's going to look real bad. So I got to strip all this off, put the sticky tack down so I'll be able to scrub away or wipe away any residue with some type of cleaner so I can get actual contact with the glass for better articulation and animation. So let's do some operation here. All right, so in the last clip, I had to do the transfer, but it was looking a little too flat between the table and the glass. So I put a black t-shirt and an old sheet to get the black flooring to look like marble or something like that for the video. So I still need to do Namor's graceful fly down onto the glass. But because the weight distribution on the stand itself, it caused the figure to tip forward this way. And I don't need that to happen. So I use these counterweights for it. But because this is heavy weight and this is glass, I don't want to crack it. So what I got to do is I have to pretty much sticky tag the weights down to the stand so they don't go sliding around. So I have to use two weights for any type of dynamic movement for the shot. So I'm going to sticky tag down, maybe even hot glue the weight to the stand and then move on from there.
Yeah, so here's what I'm working on right now. The fight between Shuri and Namor right now. So this is what the set looks like. I'm afraid everything's gonna fall, so I gotta work fast. It's been a hectic couple of days. I lost footage for the behind the scenes stuff and they took the wind out my sails. So I just finished shooting for almost, give me 1 sec. Okay, so you know that I'm not lying. From 6:05, let me pull it back up. From 6:05, reveal and finder, to 4:12. Yeah, the same shot, right? It took a lot out of me, but I'm really happy with how the shot came out. This is before any sound effects or anything I put in. This is what we're looking at. Oops. This is what we're looking at. Yeah. So this took a couple hours. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now let's move on.
Alright, so after making sure we were extra careful with the heavy metal on the sensitive glass plane, I got into the flow of shooting the fight. And up until this point it was pretty good, but I felt something was missing. When I usually shoot a new video, I strive to improve on my fight choreography, and this video was no different. So for the first time in a long time, I did a rough animatic. I used it as a reference to add a little bit more variety to the choreo, especially with it being the final battle. Once I got an idea down, I went straight into action, and it went really smooth until I hit a bit of a snag.
All right, so so I'm currently shooting the prevised shot for Shuri hopping over and dropping bombs behind her for Namor, and I got all the clean plates up until one point, which is really not good. So all of these have clean plates. If you can see down here at the bottom that's blue, those have clean plates behind them. Those are just hidden. But these two don't. So I can fix this one. Right? That other one, not so much. So I think I'm gonna have to copy one of the clean plates from before. Even though there's a perspective shift, hopefully I can blend it well in post. But yeah, that's not looking too hot. But yeah, this is what it looks like raw animation wise. I'm enjoying it, but yeah, hopefully I can fix that.
At this point, I was more confident in my abilities to actually structure a fight with decent choreography. And in this aspect, I was focused more on Shuri's flexibility and her technological know-how, especially in her combat against a more viscerally powerful character like Namor. I made it so Namor will be a huge problem in the battle, at a distance and up close, while Shuri would need to depend more so on her technological prowess. Ultimately, that failing her, so she has to use her fighting tactics like her brother, T'Challa, with grappling, wrestling, and up-close fighting techniques. Once I established those methods of the combat between those two characters, I was then met with another challenge for myself, making the combat readable at breakneck speed, with little to no confusion.
Yo, this shot is hard as I don't know what, bro. So here's the thing. So let me cut you. So this shot was just supposed to be a simple transition, Namor swinging and getting Shuri's perspective so she can do what she's got to do, right? Here's the problem. I initially had the idea to have Namor fly up and then slam down onto the ground, but I couldn't get the camera in this space right here without it knocking over anything or showing too much of the behind the scenes, the lights and the monitor and everything like that. So instead of doing that, I wanted to have a transition to where it's not a harsh cut, but it fits within the motion of the action. So this is it at full speed. See how it's seamless? But you can't tell that that's a transition. That's what I'm going for. So with that, I spent like 2 hours on this, like just to get that transition right, because either there was a frame too short duplicating before. So the idea was the bars right here use a common landmark in between each frame, right? So the common landmark was the spear, but I had the spear positioned either too high or too low and tried to blend in the animation, and it was always coming out dirty and nasty, and I don't like it. It was always jittery. You can clearly see where the cut was, even trying to delete a frame or two because it wasn't precisely on that line. So that's where the onion skinning comes in for the most part. But this was really hard to nail down without it breaking up the flow. So even trying to have the camera at weird angles to match the flow so it's easier to read in a play-by-play animation. So this is what I was dealing with. I gotta soften up the recoil and then get the fight on Shuri's side started because she's supposed to start winning at this point. So let's get into it.
After focusing on their combat, everything just started to flow. Maybe even got a little too over-optimistic. The video was not complete after a week. But sometimes being a little delusional helps you get through the tough days when you aren't feeling the best about your work. If you ever want to get an idea on how I do my fight choreography, all of it lives right here in this clip. The basics rattle around in my head, and as the shoot comes together, I freestyle the rest.
All right, here we go for like the 85th final part of the video. I just keep adding stuff. I'm really liking how the fight's coming together. Pretty much the plan is to continue with the stomping motion, if you can see it. There we go. So yeah, when he kicks down and then stomps on the spear, pretty much what that's going to do is it's going to give me the chance to really get a close-up shot for the staff. So I'm going to follow the staff. I'm getting ready to show you the animation that I haven't even recorded yet, but pretty much what the process is, the camera's going to be following the staff, flinging upwards, and as it's flinging upwards, she's going to be recovering from it. She's going to bend her elbow and arm in, and then when Namor is going to grab the staff as it's flinging towards him. He catches it. As he catches it, he looks up at Shuri. Shuri recovers by either I'm debating on what to do, but pretty much she's going to kick the staff or give him a what is the palm strike in the nose of Namor. And as she does that, she also kicks the staff past her swinging and is going to fling around her, and then she's going to be able to twirl it and then slice up Namor a couple more times and then do something else. I'm still breaking through that, but just taking it one step at a time because I'm not going to lose any type of sanity over this. But I'm really digging how it's going so far. So let's get into it.
Seeing everything start to come together, I realized that time is closing in sooner than I initially anticipated. As the days move in closer, I wanted to refocus and make sure that this video was as character driven as possible, because the full script and the extended cut would have given time with these characters that we didn't have now. Develop their struggles and understanding the new world that they're encompassing. All of it orchestrated by Thanos. Them feeling the fallout of it, giving it their all or nothing, really lends to the story that I wanted to create the first go around. Both losing their loved ones and hating the people that were responsible for it, or what they believed to be responsible for it. Both losing loved ones and dealing with the people being left behind, being at risk of losing them even more. They're at more risk of tyranny if they don't stand up now. Shuri against Namor and Thanos, and to Namor's perspective, up against Shuri, because he doesn't know that this isn't her fault. This is me visualizing the battle and making sure that I stick to the script as close as possible. This isn't purely about flashy animation, which is fine in its own right, don't get me wrong, I love it like the next guy. But I wanted to make this the best version of my idea that I could possibly bring to the screen. I wanted each strike to have its own physical, mental, emotional toll on the battle, making each strike feel as though it's their last.
Hey, I haven't been shooting. Hopefully you can hear me. Getting over a cold, so bear with me. Today is Thursday, the 3rd. The movie comes out in a couple of days. Next week. Yeah, next week. So got my work cut out for me. Still have not finished shooting. You know what that means. The tried and true method of WarTV. Waiting to the last minute, right? So what I'm doing is the stiletto kick out the window, the throw thing in the air. I think I'm gonna still do that, just not prepared in the sense of what needs to be done for that because of the logistics of throwing it in the air, shooting that, compositing it back in, because I have a lot of work I gotta do. So Namor is about to get stabbed in the leg, well, is getting stabbed in the leg. I'm animating it right now. So him being stabbed in the leg immobilizes him for what Shuri's about to do. So I'm deciding what I want to do for the fight for T'Challa's moves. I still don't know what I want to do for that. I do know that I'm erring on the side of the Zemo grabbing type deal from Civil War, but debating on that. So I'm just trying to figure out a way to get that done. Okay, after about an hour or so of trying to find a way to really end this fight with it seeming like a mutual win and a loss, I wanted to show the stakes of what this battle was about. So with them both risking everything to defend their people, and for that connection of it being Thanos as the mutual enemy that they have to focus on, I found a way for it to seem as though, oh, he's bad, I'm good, let's be friends. It's not that type of deal. It's more of a, I don't f with you, but it's still that thing of the enemy of my enemy. So that's where I want to come in and do the best that I can as far as that story goes. And I think that Danny, Project 422 Films, really helped me out with that as far as getting it verbally across than what was in my head versus what was in the script initially. So for the fight, for the end fight, because I'm looking at the script and making sure it's playing out properly to what is written here. So after Namor gets stabbed in the leg, Shuri goes to use one of her gauntlets. She still has the spear in her left hand and is changing to use her spear in her right hand. As she's doing that, to really amplify and knock back Namor, he remembers that she did this before. He grabs her gauntlet, breaks it around her arm, so now she's immobilized with her right arm. She only has her legs and her left arm to fight. As Namor breaks the gauntlet around her wrist, he then goes in and doubles down and elbows her in the elbow. So going the other way, she's in pain. Shuri really digging in there. She uses her claws to pretty much blind Namor through one of his eyes. And he does that and she flies back. He grabs her by her ponytail and he yanks her away, has the thing in his arm, in his leg, and it's still in there. And he yanks it out and then goes for the kill shot on Shuri. Shuri can't fight back, so she's using her feet and the more tactical grappling thing that T'Challa's known for. So using that as the callback to T'Challa from Civil War, like I was saying earlier. So using that as a basis for when Namor tries to go for the stab, she's grappling and flipping around. He can't get a clean stab on her, but as this is going on, they're fighting on the ground. She's trying to get through to him until she drops Thanos. He's the one that did all of this. He's the one that destroyed Talokan. He's the reason why all of this is happening. And with that, that's where the fight pretty much simmers down and they begin to speak as they're still holding each other back but still trying to advance. It's kind of calmed down some, and now you're lying. No, I'm not. It's Thanos. He did it. Don't trust him. Work with us so we can destroy him, and then get back to defending Talokan and defending Wakanda. Having that being said, that is the way it all just flows away, where it's not completely handled. It's not handled, but it's postponed for another day. Let's get into it and see where we go from there.
In this section, we're talking about keeping up the momentum and the weight in your animation. It doesn't always have to be evenly spaced out in each frame, but I can leave the audience to do some of the emotional heavy lifting, especially visually, by inferring the weight and pressure being displayed by the figure, or puppet in this case, is displaying. How much resistance is being shown to the audience? Is it rigid? Is it flimsy? Is it light as a feather or heavy as an anchor? All of these questions are at play when conducting a fight scene. in stop motion, it has to be sold on not only the anticipation, but the follow through as well.
Okay, today is Saturday, the 5th, November 5th. The movie comes out in 6 days. Okay, all right. So the movie comes out in 6 days. Most likely not going to be able to hit that date. Still have to do a whole bunch of editing. What I might do is, because I'm at the end of the fight. I've been saying I'm at the end of the fight for a minute though, but no, this is literally like before Shuri gives her part of the speech, and Namor and them going back and forth, because this has just been all out war, battle, fighting, kicking, slashing, stabbing, all of this stuff. So now we have Namor, who's mortally wounded in his right thigh, Shuri mortally wounded on her right arm or right elbow, right arm. Shuri stabs him in the thigh. Namor elbows and breaks her arm. Namor yanks the spear from his thigh, goes in for the kill shot with Shuri. Shuri is doing a tenet. If you know, you know. And once everything happens, just remember tenet, and weird stuff pops up later down the line, okay? But the backing away, hurrying up, scurrying away from the stab, and she blocks it. She's using her feet to hold back Namor's chest and arms, and she's grabbing with her only strong hand that she has left, with her left hand grabbing the sharp end of the spear, and she's holding it, and there's tension and there's shaking, and she's like trying to give him the speech. I have to record the speech with my sister today for Shuri, her lines, and I want to attack this one first. That's what I want to attack first, so that we're able to set that as a tone and then work back from there as a method. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We can always record again, but it's always been up and down, and just trying to get this done. I already have Namor's lines from Marquez. Follow him. Did a great job. So she's giving her speech, they're speaking, and it's one of those things to where she's on the receiving end of the damage, but before she could really get into it, in his damaged thigh that he got stabbed in, kicks him in the thigh. No, she kicks him in the thigh, blasts the spear out of his hand. As she's blasting the spear out of his hand, she catches it, and then now she's on the offensive end as far as the battle goes. All the memories flood in of T'Challa and what is transpired in Infinity War and everything like that, to where like, what would T'Challa do in this situation because of her taking up that mantle, and knowing that war breeds war. And it's one of those things where you empathize with her. Like, if this was you would probably go for the kill. But because T'Challa was such a strong character and a person, that once Shuri knew all that he had been through, instead of killing his father's killer, he made him see justice. And that's where she has to fight that now, knowing that Namor is doing the same thing her brother would have done. And so knowing that and grieving that, it's hurt people. And then it wasn't even her fault or his fault, it was Thanos' fault. So explaining that to him and understanding he's just doing what he believes is right, and telling him the truth, and seeing if that's the last thing that she can possibly do, because she does not want to kill Namor because he's doing what her brother would do. So that's where we get that emotional opening up of both characters in the sense of respect more than anything. And that's where I want to end it there, because I don't want to kill Namor off, because he's a hero in his own right. And to his people, that's what he is, as T'Challa is to his. So that's what I wanted to walk away from this video. Like, oh, just kill Namor. Like, oh, stop killing villains. If they're like not Thanos level threats, don't kill them. Don't. Just let it be. So that's where we're at right now. That's where I'm at mentally for it. So I'm going to shoot time lapse again, because the camera's been acting wonky for the past couple of days. So I'm going to try to get that done and show you the process of how it's done and what I was thinking with doing it. So yeah, let's get in.
Okay, so right now I just finished the initial attempt of stabbing Shuri with the spear. I had a couple problems with it, with the interaction. What happened was when I went to go have Shuri, well, it actually worked out in my favor. So I'm actually previewing it right now, give me a sec. So when Namor goes for the initial stab, right? It was a really awkward feel, and trying to do the motion blur with rig removal and having Shuri pretty much be readable in those 1, 2, 3 frames before the contact fully stops and we ease out of it. The problem was having that be readable but being fast, because I've noticed in my previous videos, I want to say Daredevil versus Iron Fist is the biggest culprit of it. Somebody commented, they said, oh man, this video was great. It's even better at 1.5x speed. I was like, wait, that's too fast. What are you talking about? So going back, I saw it, 1.5x speed really was a perfect motion. So instead of me trying to do ease in, ease out for every single thing, still had that in the back of my head, but also what makes it readable, because not every frame is supposed to be readable. You're just supposed to see the motion, and over the motion that's being told, what is happening? Somebody's coming from a supersonic speed flyby to an immediate stop with a slight gradual change. It doesn't matter who you see and who you don't see. So instead of focusing on every single frame per shot, focus on the overall motion and movement. And that's what I've got here, right? So once Namor comes in for the stab and Shuri blocks it, it's a little shake and give. You're easing out of that speed. But with easing out of that speed, I'm transitioning from the initial ease in and ease out to the full-on strain of her holding back the spear, and they were really trying to dig down and kill Shuri. So what I'm doing is, instead of doing a full complete stop, having it being shown as that ease out is happening, also the stress is coming back in. So it's like a motion graph. So they're intersecting as they're intersecting. That's what I'm going to be focusing on as far as showing that little strain in between them before I cut to the close-ups of them speaking in between the shot. I really wanted to hold on this being shot because a lot of these final sequences are like 10 frames a piece, if that, and I really wanted it to slow down and show you, oh, this is actually happening. Shuri's going to die, or she's possibly going to get more wounded than she already is, and Namor's going to go for the kill because he has no qualms with dealing out death. So having that be the main focus of this little fight, because that's what fights are. You hear it all the time. It's like, oh, it's like a dance. It's like a dance. It is like a dance. It's rehearsal for live action. But in writing, because I'm not an expert, but how I see it is, in the fight, there are little battles. What are you battling at every single moment? They're battling for the spear. They're battling for Wakanda and Talokan. Smaller. They're battling for each other to be defeated. One to kill, the other to kill. Debating on it. Lower than that. Okay, I'm getting my kick. I need to go and get that spear. Fight for the spear. Okay, oh, she took my spear. I need to get it back, and this time I need to hold on to it. So holding on to it, before I can even execute that, she's already on 10 and maxed out and disregarded my movement. So now how do I adapt to that? And then slower and slower and slower, you're breaking down those little fight sequences in your head and over the course of the fight to where it's like, oh, I punch you, you punch me, fight. Like, no. Have it be some of that, because that's fun, but definitely have those little battles in there. And so right now they're gassed. They have nothing left, and this is do or die. This is do or die. So Namor's bleeding out, Shuri broken arm, about to get stabbed. They're fighting and they're straining. They're putting everything into it. So with that being said, you have to show that in the animation. And with that being shown, it's the stress back and forth of the blade piercing them. So let's get into it.
Cramped. We gotta fit in the Cramped space so you can see what I'm talking about. So for this shot, I'm doing the reverse shot of the close-up of Namor trying to kill Shuri and that reaction of Shuri. So I'm just gonna cut to her head shaking and quivering with the blade just off the side of the camera where you couldn't really tell. But I had this idea to pretty much on the reverse shot as I was setting up. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Having the blade be the focus and then panning down to Shuri, and we'll see her reaction to it and struggling for a few seconds, because this is how it turned out. You see 30, yeah. So this is pretty much what we're doing as far as the struggle with Namor, but for Shuri, I want to do something a little bit more special, weird. We see the blade, it's quivering. As it's quivering, she gets the bright idea, and then we cut to a shot like this, close up, of course, like maybe about like right here. Have her look down, get a close up of her arm, quiver, 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 shake, transform, and then blast Namor in the leg. So pretty much what was going on here was I couldn't get the camera exactly where I needed it to be for the shot. So pretty much I have Namor in a funky position, pretty much acting as if he is going for the stab, even though his torso is being blocked by Shuri here. So that's, push comes to shove, you don't need to show anything that's not on camera. You can cut away, you can do the good old sound effect route, but for this I just needed that spear to be in the frame when I go to shoot this. So let's see how this turns out.
Okay, so I'm using an eyeglass repair kit screwdriver to get this really subtle animation between Shuri's broken arm wavering as she's trying to use the gauntlet, and it's getting those really subtle details in there. So when I'm going for the shaking animation, I'm trying to make it different for each shot, but still having that overall theme of the shake. And so for Shuri, it's bobbing, but it's twitching a lot less because it's a broken arm, so she's not trying to move it as much, but it's still a struggle to get it done. So that's my mindset. Before I was just doing it with my fingers, back and forth, easily little nuances here and there. But for this one, I want it to be as small movement as possible. So let's see how it turns out.
With most projects, there's bound to be an issue or two that pops up. But with something like this, it changes the entire trajectory of how the video plays out. Watch in real time as I cobble together an idea on how to handle this massive change. A massive change stemming from a teeny tiny little hand.
Okay, so right now I'm looking for Shuri's left hand. I lost it, I don't know where it's at, and it's important because she needs to grab Namor's spear with this hand. And the thing is, if I don't find it, it can't get done. And I'm going through all the figures, all the containers of hands that I have, and trying to really nail this down. So hopefully I can find it. Let's see how long this takes me. Okay, hopefully that should get it to work. All right, if you can hear me, good. If you can't, sorry. I'm using the GoPro because everything else is busy and being used. I'm watching, see how they run while I'm shooting. And yeah, everything's a mess. Trying to get the video shot right now. I'm working on Shuri bash Namor's face in the final part of the fight where the information is revealed like it was Thanos' fault and Namor gets the jab back like it's not true, is it? So we're dealing with that right now. Yeah, so getting it done. It's really hard and difficult to get these close-up shots with a lot of contact going on, because what happens is you'll get the shakes or the stuttery look if they're not fully secured to the set. And it's hard because they're supposed to be moving back and forth. It's really weird. So what I'm doing is to combat that is to go as slow as possible while still checking the onion skin. It's still going to be jittery, but I'm trying to reduce it as much as possible while still trying to give more realistic animation on how they'll react in the fight. So let's see how it is.
We didn't hit your civilization.
All right, so for this shot in particular, I needed to show the stress that Namor was having holding the spear, trying to stab Shuri, but the spear kept getting in the way and it was breaking up and I couldn't really get it the way that I wanted to. So what I did was I punched in super close with this macro lens that I got, and I was able to pretty much do one of these to show the tension, rocking the figure back and forth, and that gave me just the right amount of give in the action, and this is what it turned out to be. So here we go. That's what I wound up with. So yeah, it implies that the spear's still in his hand. It's just we're so close that we're under the spear in his hand, and that's how this came out. So yeah, just be innovative as possible with your direction, and all the stuff will fall in line.
All right, here we go. The 11th finally came, and after the months of discussion about where the story would go, was finally answered. I watched it opening day, and the film was one of my favorites of the year, and it was sad not to have Chadwick Boseman with us anymore, but Ryan Coogler did an amazing job with the circumstances he was given to make this film. About mourning, revenge, and respect. With the film finally releasing, I knew it was all the motivation I needed to complete this video and just focus on making the best video that I could with the time and the resources I had. With all that said, let's get to work.
Okay, so for the month and some change that I've been working on this video, debating, switching back and forth on what I want to do for the head of Shuri in the battle. So it was either between the Riri Williams comic head or the Legends Endgame series Shuri. I want to say it's the Endgame. Wait, my version, because I'm not good at painting. Not good at painting, and I need to be quick and fast and efficient. My Shuri has a wandering right eye. Yeah, it's like really, and I'm not that detailed. I want to get practice in, and that's something to be changed at a later date. And I don't have the Legacy Collection version. Really don't got the money for it, because I'm putting everything back into stop motion, multiple projects at one time. So neither here nor there. I'm settled with the Riri Williams head. I'm settled with that one. Problem is, the Fortnite figures use a different system of articulation all throughout. So the hands, that was difficult. I had some S codes laying around that I could use to get the hands that I needed, but I need to swap out the head. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So here we have the Riri Williams head from the comic release version, and then we have the Fortnite Lynx figure. We have this head that I've been using for the entirety of the video, and the pegging system is weird. Oh, don't get lost. So the pegging system for these are really weird, but it actually works in the favor of trying to get good animation. So what happens is I'm in the middle of the shot, so you can know exactly when all this is taking place. So now you have context of what's happening, the macro lens, and getting that shot. So instead of it being just a ball and socket, it's a ball and a socket and a ball and a socket, so that you can get the neck articulation. It's kind of hard to bend it without the head on there, but yeah, that's what we're dealing with. So once I put the peg back in the socket for this, if the head doesn't fit, if the Shuri head doesn't fit on the ball right there, I can always just put sticky tack, because I sticky tack everything, so that's not a problem. So I just need to get this back into this figure, and then so it's not as short and stumpy in relation to, let me show you what I'm talking about. So that's the head on, hold that there, log back in. All right, camera is now seeing it. This is what we're working with, and I have no control over the figure, so that's what we're looking at right now. Yeah, I want to be able to have the full articulation of this and being able to get the movement without it looking as so compressed. So let's get into it. Okay, so changing a bunch of stuff for the last interaction between Shuri and Namor. So what I had planned was to have them struggling to get the staff, struggling to fight over the staff. It's harder because I lost that hand and I still haven't found it. Like, yeah, just a couple minutes ago when I said I couldn't find it, still haven't found it, and it's been about 2 weeks now. So keep that in mind. That hand was very important because it was her holding hand that was showing to screen left and screen right at all times, holding that staff. The reason why she can't use the other hand, that I still have the hand for the hand to hold the staff on her right arm, is because her right arm is broken. She can't use it because her arm is broken,
and that's no way to hold off a mutant. So yeah, it's one of those things was like, you gotta change it. You gotta change it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm having the effect of Shuri giving a more diplomatic response by taking off her helmet, like pulling it away and pretty much not yielding, but giving space to breathe for them both to give and retrieve information from each other. So in this, Shuri just backs away, like, look, it ain't what you think it is. Listen to me for a little bit and we'll be all right. And so I had it play out, because this won't be in the video because it's been changed now. In the script, I have it written that Shuri has Namor's staff, his spear. With her having it, and they both give their information out, still regrettably diplomatic. Let me say that. Regrettably diplomatic. Namor reaches out for a handshake. Shuri goes for the handshake as well. He pulls it back. What the fuck are you talking about? No, we're not doing that. He's reaching for his spear, not for a handshake. And so that is what I had as a visual way of telling you they are only working together to fight Thanos. That's the only reason why. There's no type of nice whatever about it. So in order to counteract that, because I lost that hand and I wanted to be able to show thematically how is Namor supposed to get his spear back and use it in a reliable way that would be believable in the context of the story, but also make the arm grabbing work, or the handshake thing work. So I've been sitting here for the past 2 hours trying to find a way to make it work, because I have the camera set up, I have the light set up, I have things set up. I'm just at a stalemate until I came up with the idea of, oh, Shuri just grabs the spear, throws it away, and then backs away and is trying to relay this information to Namor. I really like that idea, but she has to go and pick it back up and hand it to him, and it doesn't work. So another idea that I had was to have them both stand but shake and grab it. I'm like, I've been doing that for the past like 40 seconds and it'll get redundant. So one of the last ideas I had, because I had multiple, because I've just been running through the paces. What I did was I said, look, Shuri gives space to breathe. She's thinking about it diplomatically, remembering her brother, because I wanted to have the choking scene from Civil War as the main focus, but because of the hands missing and the logistics of trying to get close-up shot and the shaking, it proved too difficult and too much time to be put into it. So it's still there, just not in the aspect that I wanted it. So happy compromise. Shuri gives space to breathe and thinks about it diplomatically as to far as what her brother would do in this situation. She gives leniency, but is still very firm in her decision making. The fight is not over. So have Shuri back away, but also having an ace in the hole with her having the Wakandan bombs on the ready. So when you get fucking crazy, I got something for you. So that's pretty much what I have going on for Shuri to still give you a little bit of time to breathe, but this isn't over. We're still negotiating. It's not, oh, I give up, we good now, and let's talk about it. Like, no, she's still on guard, she's still protecting Wakanda, and she still is trying to make it in a way that she can build an ally, but also save Wakanda in the process without having to succumb to Talokan's new rules and regulations. So she backs away. As she backs away, she puts her hand up and then slowly goes for the back, because her right arm is broken. Her right arm is broken and she's holding it in a sling manner, like a self-sling. And she goes back, puts her hand down, and as she puts her hand down, she grabs the Wakandan bombs that she's developed. These are more volatile. She's used them earlier in the script, so it makes sense. So she goes to grab for him and is relaying this information to Namor. As she's relaying this information to him, he now has his spear. He has his spear at this moment in time. So it's a trust thing. So he was like, does she trust me enough to allow me to have this? And it's a mental game to have this in this moment of crisis and fighting. She's not yielded, but she has something else going on. So it's a mental chess game. Did she give up? Did she not give up? What's going on? Like how's that playing out? So he believes there's something more to go on. Either she's telling the truth or she's being sneaky and trying to get me to lower my guard down. So he's on guard on both sides of that. So he's hearing her out to see, like, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Namor now has his spear and commands the pyramid to stop causing the waves and crash, and they both go their separate ways.
The first way that I was going to do it, if she had the hand, was them to be fighting over it to calm down, and then in the midst of them fighting for the spear, he would turn it off, and they would go on about their way. In this, Shuri's arm is broken. I never had that in the script before. That was something that I pulled out on the day. I made it so that her arm is broken, his leg is stabbed, they're both mortally wounded, but you know, comics, heroes, they go through stuff. So in the midst of them they shut down the wave pool. I'm calling it the wave pool. They shut down the wave pool, and Namor walks to Shuri. She holds down the thing. He goes for a handshake, but it's not a handshake. It's like a surprise fixing of the breaking of her arm, because he did it, so he's gonna fix it. He goes for the handshake, resets her arm. As he resets her arm, she of course screams because that's painful. And that's like an olive branch in a sense of, I'm sorry. I'm not going to say I'm sorry. I'm never going to say I'm sorry. Too stubborn. Fixes the arm. Like, we're not done here. We are not done here. Yeah, might be Thanos, but it's something fishy going on, pun not intended. And that's how we set up and go for the ending of that. But that's what has changed drastically within the past couple hours that I got the idea to do. And now we're going to move forward and start shooting. This is the last scene in this room, and then gonna go to the beach stuff, shoot a couple of those accent scenes, and yeah, let's get her done.
All right, so a little cramped, little bit cramped. I'm gonna have the time lapse going over there. The object is to have Namor look at the spear. As he looks at the spear, it glows orange this time around instead of just a cold blue, to show warm to his power rather than the cold ocean feel. I don't know, you get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, we're here. I'm shooting all of his side so I can shoot the reverse side of Shuri speaking. So this is the part where he pretty much activates the spear, shutting off the waves in the pyramid from causing the flood of Wakanda. And yeah, let's get it.
His name is Thanos. He's who you want. We had nothing to gain from your collapse because war is not our way. Believe me or not, to think that you were the only...
Okay, here we go. This is the shot that I just finished up, and it had its, problems getting... The close-up was cool, but if you're watching this before, in the part where she's holding up the hologram, there's going to be a silver reflector at the bottom left of the corner. So I'm not going to show you here, but you'll know it when you see it after the fact. But yeah, I knocked out this scene. It was a little difficult, but
Come out on top is far from settlement. 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 Come out on top is far from
I'll just
settlement.
mute it. There we go. So pretty much the problem was when I went to go do that big swing with her, I didn't get the distance away from her body that I needed it to. So what I did was I pretty much rescaled back the shot. I was at about this. I was at this point in the original shot, and I just kept looking back at it, and it wasn't smooth the way I wanted it to be because the arm was closer towards her body. It wasn't as out here as it needed to be, because if it went out and then just stuck, it would have just made it look wonky and not good. So I went back, froze a couple of frames, tried to salvage as much as I could up until this point. This point is everything new. So I redid the entire swing itself and then the slowdown. And I shoot out a sequence so I can get better coverage, not have to keep setting up cameras and breaking them back down and putting them back in the same spot after that. So yeah, I'm shooting out a sequence. So this turned out really good. I really like how it turned out. The only problem I had was making sure that the torso was flexing back and forth the way it needed to without stopping and then starting again, and then the shoulder. So this was the main focus of everything. And Shuri's head was a little bit of a balancing act. It was okay, but it wasn't too difficult. So yeah, let's move on. Okay, so this is a little extreme for what I'm trying to do, but it came out great. So right now, I'm setting up the shot for the low angle of Shuri to make her gauntlet appear to shoot one of the healing Komoyo beads. Well, I'll just have her do it with the hand because I don't want to do too much VFX work. So yeah, this is just me being lazy. But anyway, she spawns a Komoyo bead to throw in Namor's leg to heal him because she stabbed him. He fixed her broken arm that he broke, and she's fixing his gashed leg that she stabbed. So fair is fair. So for the shot, the camera needed to get super low to get the angle that I needed, but I needed it to be closer to the table. Like usually I'll pull the set closer to the edge of the table so that we can get the shot that we need. But because of the low angle and what was needed, this light bar needed to also be there, and it wasn't enough space to do it at the edge of the table, so I had to do it like this. So this is the angle. She helps him out with it, but I needed to get it propped up on the base that was stable. Usually I would use Blu-ray cases or something like that, but I was using my Xbox earlier. I was like, this is a perfect solid base to use for the shot, and it's working. It's working. So yeah, that's the shot. It's going to pan down to his leg, and yeah, that's what we're dealing with. Okay, so I'm shooting a light for the healing effect for Namor and Shuri. She just gave him the Komoyo bead, and now it's healing him. But because everything's so cramped, I'm using a macro lens. I can only get but so close with the light and trigger it and pose the figures and still have the effect going on crazy. So I literally have the light, because it's punched in so much that the light isn't even showing that it's being rested upon. Like the lens isn't showing that it's being rested on by the light for the shot. So that's how cramped this was, and still getting my hands in here. Like I got the baseball mitts trying to get in here and get the shot. So you can already tell how difficult this was. I had to shoot this thing like maybe 8 times now, 8, 9, 10 times now. So yeah, it's a process. So, what I'm about to do right now is I'm about to switch out the heads for Shuri's regular base head, and then switching it out with the Lynx figure head for the transition. I wanted to do it a little bit differently how I did the 2018 video. So the problem I'm having is because I'm shooting at such a low f-stop, I have to pretty much gauge this properly. I also still have to shoot, like I just finished shooting Shuri's scene with her popping the head back on, because I'm having, let me shoot on top. Here we go. So for this, we got, let's go back. There we go. So we're going to have the heads transition through the flash. I've been doing that this entire video, and I think I got it down to where I want it to, because the heads are so different, I can pretty much switch out whatever I need. So for this shot in particular, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shoot a reference plate of no Shuri, and then composite back in the helmet for when I switch it out in the edit, and probably add a purple glow to it, like a holographic purple glow, and show it melding onto Shuri's face to transition to this head. So I think that's what I'm going to do for a lot of the shots with that same type of effect. So yeah, I just got to shoot Namor's response and fly away, and Riri not crashing down, but stomping down and about to help Shuri. And then it's like, oh, fight's over, cool. And then that will be it for a wrap in this set. So, man, it's going to be, you know, a little sad seeing all this taken down, and, you know, all the hard work that's been put in for the past like 2 months to get what I need done on this. So shout out to the foam board that I used since 2015, something like that. Oh, 2016? I think it's 2016. Foam board. This is an accident, happy accident. I love it. Borrowed the glass pane from my brother. These are like old bed sheets that were black, and yeah, use that so it's not just a glass plane and then staring back down at the table. I wanted to have a little bit of variety there, because I wanted to use the same thing for Shuri's lab. I'm still debating on if I want to do that or not. But yeah, these things that I made for the Guardians Infinity War video, you'll see these again. Wink, wink. the oil diffuser slash thing, and it's just using a little bulb flashing through there. Big Bad Toy Store wrapping paper, big trash bag. The actual thing that's holding the big trash bag is a dry erase board. The lava type deal. I still don't even know if I want to call it lava. I think I'm gonna call it lava. The lava is, you know, Party City or Dollar General birthday party tablecloth type deal. The set that I used for the swag video, the Black Panther recreation. Another Guardians museum's case thing. The big Jenga wrapped around with tissue paper. Poster board. This is actually a serving tray. My mom likes to collect stuff like this, and it came in handy perfectly. And I forgot where she got this, but this was something, I think it was at like Goodwill or something like that. So yeah, of course, lights and all that. But yeah, this was crazy, man. Like, just getting all this done in such a manner where usually you're expecting my videos to drop like 8 months after the thing comes out in the theaters, and this is the first time I think I'm actually comfortable with it being a little delayed, but like right there by the release date. So let's finish grinding out and doing this daggone video, man. I'm happy. We did it. Yeah, I'm exporting the rough cut with all the proper orientation and stuff now for the video. We did it. Just watched the rough cut. That was my first time watching it, everything put together, and all the moments of failure and doubt with making this video. It took a lot, it's still taking a lot, and I did not watch the video all the way through with making it. I wouldn't shoot for, I would only shoot for the day and then review that footage. But seeing how I put it all together in the sense of momentum and camera movement, and with all the pitfalls of making this video, losing hands and not pulling off the articulation that I wanted it to, and the camera being stuck in a certain orientation, it was a lot going on behind the scenes. And I hope that this video is a motivator, if anything else, to stay the course. I had to take so many breaks making this video, so many, because of the fact that I didn't have the patience, and that's what you need here. You need patience with it. I didn't have the patience with myself to give myself grace in the sense of trying to pull off a shot and it not turning out the way that I wanted to, and demanding that it be shot and created in this specific way. I made so many alterations and changes on set to accommodate the position that I'm in right now, because what I had up here didn't match what was on the page, and it didn't match what was actually viable in the long run to do it. And seeing this video put together like this, today is Sunday, the 20th November. I can't wait for you to see it. I genuinely can't wait for you to see it. Just watching this 5-minute clip gave me the burn that I needed and the motivation that I needed to go in and tear it up from the T'Challa being snapped to the beach shore bombing run, to the beach shoreline fight, to the end credit. But I have the idea, and I think that this video is going to help out the channel a lot. I honestly think so, and I'm genuinely happy. I'm genuinely happy, and for me to be able to do this is a blessing, and I can't say that enough. And I want to thank you all for giving me the chance and opportunity to entertain you and create the stuff that I love. When I say thank you, I appreciate it. That's coming from here. I genuinely feel that way. Sorry I'm shaking the camera a lot because I'm passionate. Thank you. I'm gonna go get some rest. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna go back at it, shoot what needs to be shot, and keep it going.
With the main fight being finally complete, I felt a huge sense of accomplishment. That despite my feelings towards losing the time-lapse footage and Shuri's hand in the final act of the fight, I still felt rewarded with the final product finally being completed. I was excited that I was one step closer to getting the video done. Maybe not alongside the film like I initially anticipated, but within a window that was more reasonable for me to be able to produce.
Okay, here we go. So gotta be real quick because the battery's about to die. So what I'm working on right now is Riri shots of her in the air, flying over Wakanda, trying to fight Namor, and holding off the shield. So right now I'm just focusing on the Namor fight for a little bit, and then once that's done, going in, compositing all the backgrounds and everything like that to see what works and what doesn't. For her holding back the shields, I got something that I want to do as far as like a practical set to like sink it in there to show that she's standing on a platform using everything, not the thrusters to off balance or off kilter, but actually trying to sustain the shields from being broken from the waves and I think that's how you say it, talakole. But yeah, so working on that, getting Namor's flight suit stuff done. I want to composite on a blue screen. Animated Assemble, the NSR 7 and Project 422 Films, they both gave me some really good insight on as far as the compositing and lighting situations that are needed for that exact type of shot, because it's going to be either midday or like early in the morning, like 11 o'clock, something like that. So making sure that's all taken into account and the compositing is just right. And I'm gonna try out a couple new things to me and see how they pan out. So let's get going.
All right, idea for this shot where it's kind of connecting a little bit more of the M'Baku and Okoye fight for them fighting the Atlanteans or the Talokaleo. So fighting them, and what I had in mind was having it be a good transition for Riri to not be looking down. Well, she's going to be continuing to look down at Shuri and Namor fight, right? So as she's doing that, I'm going to actually cut to Riri's reaction and then starting to see that the barriers breaking down, because previously this is just an improv thing. Before Namor stabs her or tries to kill her, she uses her Unibeam, blasts it, but in doing so, she slices a little bit and damages the portal, the barrier, the shield. And so in her fixing her own mistake under duress, she witnesses that the barrier is breaking down in the background, but I can't rack focus. So I'm shooting at f20, let me check, f22 with a 2-second exposure. So I can actually see the detail of this. So when I go into composite it, I can have Riri looking down at the fight. As she's looking down at the fight, it pans up. And as it pans up with this tracking marker, because everything's gonna be in green screen, with this tracking marker, it'll pan up and will be locked to see that the barrier is breaking down. So what does she do? She turns around and then starts to use the shields and reinforce them so that it does not break. So that is what she's doing and giving her some more agency in the video. Let's get into it. So here we go. We're at like 5 in the morning, 5:17 to be exact. Mom's birthday. Happy birthday. Now let's get this shot done. So because I want to use the pan feature of the camera and being able to get M'Baku, get his hand to reach out and focus on that using the macro lens, have Okoye reach out, grab it, and then pan back up to M'Baku saying there will be no dying today. Well, because this is on a blue screen, well, green screen, blue screen, because it's on a blue screen, I don't have any camera trackers. And you already know, if you're into VFX and everything like that, you need tracking markers if there is a camera moving on set. So I use an impromptu helping hand. I use an old iPod Touch case to keep it from smudging and tearing up the paper. Used a helping hand attached to a red thumbtack against the blue so you can know exactly where you're shooting. And I'm shooting at an f22. So you see how it's blurry right there? Yeah, that's blurry, but the test shot shows different. That's enough for me to track. And with the camera moving, I can keep that tracking point in the frame at all times. And then once it's ready to be composited in, I just mask that out and everything else will be there, fine and dandy to go. So let's try this again and shoot for the stars.
There will be no dying today. There will be no dying today.
All right, so here's what we got set up. All of this, right? All of this, the macro lens, the extra fill light and everything. All of this for a simple ear twitching shot. Yeah, so that shows how much I care about you. Let's get it.
Okay, hopefully you can see me. Hopefully this works.
So I've been working like crazy. Been working like crazy to really get you in the mindset of what I have planned. But a lot of the problems that I'm having right now, sorry about that. So as far as the background assets go, I have a couple things I need to do. I have to do the Wakandans and the Talakanil and the Wakandans charging in a battle from the skyline. For the skyline shot, I got that done for the Talakanil. I have to do it for the Wakandans. I have to go back and bring this camera back down to table level so I can actually shoot and get the Talakanil's charging shots for them crowding around the Wakandans in that last like, oh, we're gonna lose type battle thing. So getting that done, have to do the snap. I really want, you've probably already seen the video now. Hopefully you've watched the video before seeing this. Hopefully it's out. Anyway, Thanos snaps T'Challa into the future. Yeah, so I gotta animate that, with real life passing with T'Challa. So I'm trying to do it tastefully, Chadwick Boseman's in real life passing, and so T'Challa goes along with that as well because they're intertwined as far as the characters go. Now, as far as how I'm doing it, I'm not going to be killing off T'Challa in my universe. It's just not what I'm going to do. Respectfully giving Shuri her arc to do what it is that she's done. I made Shuri Black Panther before the movie did. I'm not saying like, oh, I did it before. Like, no. Everybody's a Black Panther pretty much because you got Killmonger, you got T'Chaka, you got T'Challa, you got Shuri. But yeah, shooting these assets, already running late. Shooting these assets, getting everything done for the video. Let me actually go through the snap. So hopefully I'll blow this up, show it the way it's supposed to be. But yeah, that's the list. That's all I have to do. Block that out. Did Okoye's stuff, Riri's stuff, Dalaka Neal's working on right now. Marina did that. Namor did that. Shuri landing on the beach, haven't done that. T'Challa being snapped, haven't done that. So I got a lot of stuff to do, but I'm pretty sure I can get it. So with all that being said, I'm going to try to finish it today, most likely today. Yeah, I'm going to try to get everything done today so I can start moving into VFX because December's already here. The 11th passed a while ago. This is the fastest turnaround time for a full-on video, not like a trailer recreation or anything like that. It's been about October, November, December, so yeah, like 3 months, 2.5 months, most likely, because I got to do VFX work. It'll probably take like a week and a half. No, 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks. So I'm trying to be as punctual and efficient with my time as much as possible. So yeah, okay, so second to last shot, really agitating because I want to have it reminds you of the No Way Home, no, not No Way Home, Homecoming with the Avengers in the background and Peter in the foreground. Pretty much what I'm trying to do is trying to have the Black Panther statue in the background. I didn't intend on it being the background piece, but it is a background piece. I know I made it and everything like that, but I wasn't thinking because I had already started shooting. The WarTV logo in the background too. Crudely made, but still WarTV represent merch on merch on merch. If you know about the joke, you know about the joke. Anyway, getting in the headspace to really shoot this shot, I have to prop up everybody in their appropriate signs and where they're supposed to be at, right? The problem that I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lights right now, because it's a bright day shot, it's blown out and it's overexposed on purpose, but I still need to have that amount of just a little bit like below so that if I want to add any accents like fire or anything like that, I can do that. So let me show you what I'm talking about. We got the tripod with the camera and the GoPro doing time lapse. I have this really old light bar that's been putting in work for the past couple videos, giving a lot of light. That seems like a little bit too much light, right? I'll show you what it looks like on the screen. And panning up, we get the Black Panther statue and the WarTV logo in the background. And this is where we're at. I need to edge light it because it was not coming up good at all. And we have like the other figures and stuff that have to be propped up appropriately. We're gonna have Riri slam down into the water where they're talking at and everything. So we're gonna be about like right here. And yeah, we'll fix these soldiers and Dor Milaje, the Titsurazi and Dor Milaje getting back in their proper poses. And yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. So let me show you what it looks like on the screen. This is what we're dealing with. This is the shot. I haven't started shooting it yet, but this is just edge lighting and getting the exposure and everything right. You can see it. Well, it wasn't always like that. It was, let me go to using this with my left hand, give me a sec. All right, here we go. So these were the test trials and exposures for the shots. I had missed green paper, yellow paper for that shot. So I'll put that in there, trying different lighting situations, color temperatures and everything. So now we finally got something that we can work with, which I'm about to start shooting right now. So
So let's get it before lights start acting all weird. And yeah, let's go.
Okay, it's done. It's really done. Gotta throw everything in the computer and mix it all up and make it work. You get the video. Of course, it's going to be a lot more difficult than that, but shooting is done. I'm not going to do the thing that I wanted to do. I'm not even going to spoil it because I don't even know if I'm going to do it for the full video. But we're done. Let's get it done inside of the computer and see how that pans out and making sure there's no problems there. I'm already having some issues as far as what I'm looking at as far as reviewing the footage, because I've only reviewed the beach stuff and the green screen assets. Some of the green screen assets look like they're overexposed, so I don't know if that's going to give me a bad key. Most likely will. Yeah, let's get it done.
And we're out of here. I'm glad you all stayed and watched the video in its entirety, not in 2x speed or skipped around in chapters or anything. I really appreciated how you locked in and watched it from the very beginning to right now. But in all seriousness, I'm really glad you were able to see this whole process, whether you watched it from here to there. I just really needed to get this out there so that you could see what it takes to shoot a video, let alone the pre-production or the production of it. But we still have to worry about the VFX and everything afterwards. But with this, you are able to see the process and how most of my videos go. I wanted this episode to really show from start to finish how it is for WarTV-14 to make videos. From set decor being put at risk, missing hands that grew legs and just walked away, and making sure that the fight has some type of meaning to it, and giving each of the characters a time to shine in their own right. That, as well as all of my other stop motion techniques that I could have given you, that you could have picked up on, that's normal to me, but something new to you, I'm happy to help where I can. This project was a labor of love, and I hope you can see that in the footage here, as well as watching the final video. Thanks for following along with me, and next time we'll be going into VFX, green and blue screening, as well as how I remove rigs out of videos, like this. With all that being said, thank you again for watching. Appreciate you. Stick to WarTV behind the scenes. And if you aren't, subscribe, like, comment, even share. Much appreciated. More videos are coming out soon. And because you waited this long, here's a preview for my next video.